There we are. Hey, Sean Wiggins.
Hi,
Welcome
how
back.
are you doing?
I am doing phenomenal. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alan Thomas. For those you don't know me with Rethink Dieting, and I've got with me tonight someone that you might remember was live with me back in December and on his journey. And I saw something that he posted the other day to his personal page that really touched my heart about what was going on in his life. He's Sean. I'm gonna get him to tell you a little bit about himself, but let me do that first. So tell everybody who you are, where you live, all you particulars that don't know you, Sean.
Okay. Well, I'm Sean. I'm a Virgo. Did you want to know
There you go. That works.
that? No, but I'm Sean Wiggins. I'm originally from New Jersey. Grew up in New Jersey, but my grandparents are from Amelia Island area. So when I was a child, I used to commute back and forth between New Jersey and spent all my summers on Amelia Island, and also part time on my dad's farms down in North Carolina area. So I'm used to the coast, and so in my adult life, I ended up moving here permanently. But I live in Georgia, right on the border, right across from where Alan is today.
Yeah. And what's crazy is Sean and I didn't meet geographically. We met online, and what really intrigued me is I've been on the phone with hundreds and hundreds of people and around the world, really, and Sean and I connected online through a Facebook post, and back in October of last year. So it's been about a little over 8 months.
Right.
And we had just really had an honest conversation about what was going on in Sean's life, and he became part of our Rethink Dieting program, and he's had pretty incredible transformation. And what got my attention the other day was that when he posted something that he walked 4 miles. And what's significant about that is not that he walked 4 miles, but the fact that he was using a wheelchair the majority of the time back in October. And I didn't even know this at the time, because when people come into Rethink Dieting, I never tell people what to eat or what exercise to do, because that is very seldom the problem. And so, but kind of take us back there, Sean. I mean, you were, when we met, we connected. Everybody loves you when they meet you, and so it's easy to connect to you. But you were, I look back at the data in October. You were 433 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and you got there because of some things that happened in your life. And if you might share maybe a little bit about kind of what was going on then, before Rethink Dieting, and we'll kind of take it from there.
Well, I'm better now, but I can talk about it. Oh, because I'm better now. But back in 2000, January 2000, I know the exact date, January 10th, 2017. I was working in Niagara Falls, New York, and I was just going, doing my routine. Where in the evenings I usually walk. I used to walk like maybe 3-4 miles, and my location was in a place where I could go see the waterfalls in Niagara Falls at night.
Mm-hmm.
So January 10th, 2017, I went to Niagara Falls Park, and I set foot on the property, and I ended up making a tumble, not down the falls, but down a hill near Niagara Falls. So I didn't follow the water, but because of that, I strained my muscles from my knee all the way up into my abdomen. And just flash forward, when you have those type of injuries,
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows what to do to fix you. You can't put a body cast on. At the time, the doctors that I was going to, all they wanted to do was prescribe prescription narcotics or drugs or whatever. I took one pill and I was hallucinating. That was the end of that for me. I dumped the pills. I wasn't going to do that. And then I was just dealing with extreme pain in my legs and abdomen and in my back. And so flash forward 3 years, I was sleeping basically in a chair for 3 years.
Mm.
So when I met you, Alan, there were a lot of things. Yeah, the weight was significant. 432 pounds, and so when I met you, that was like a blessing in disguise because I was praying about it. To be honest with you, and then here you come.
And
With
what's significant is you had, back before your injury. I mean, you were 185 to 200 pound guy, if I remember right. I mean, I don't know honestly. I mean, what were you weighing before then?
I would weigh between 230,
Okay.
250, somewhere in there. Never over 250.
Okay.
But I was active. I was cycling. I would ride my bike. I have a 70-year-old neighbor, and believe it or not, he got me into cycling because he would do 20 miles in one sitting. So I was doing that. I I was a junior lifeguard when I was 9 years old on Amelia Island,
Mhm.
and so I'm a avid swimmer. I love swimming, so I would swim. I was basically doing almost every day a triathlon.
Wow.
My own personal triathlon without the running. Um, yeah.
Walk us through, what it was like, when you peaked in weight, and you were basically immobile. I mean, how was that impacting? Like, because you're a hotel consultant executive, you've got a very, very successful career with a large hotel company,
Mhm.
worldwide hotel company, and
Yeah.
how was it affecting work? How was it affecting home? Maybe just share with, if you don't mind sharing with everybody, what was going on in your life.
Okay, so physically couldn't do anything. So I would basically I couldn't walk more than 10 feet at a time. So anything that I did at that time, in my mind, I would plot how I would get from location A to location B. So I travel a lot. I've been traveling, for over 22 years, and going to the airport in that condition became a real challenge because I was carrying the extra weight. I had a back injury. My legs were hurting. My abdomen was hurting. So I would have to basically go to the airport, and the one thing I was trying to avoid was wheelchair. And
Mhm.
but there's no. If you notice, airports don't really have a lot of places to sit from. When you go to check in to going through security all the time. So, um, in order to make it to the gate, I had to surrender to the wheelchair.
Mhm. And then what was it like? I mean, when you were getting places, I mean, as far as you being able to do your job at that weight, and what was going on there? I mean, how was that affecting things?
I didn't think I was going to last. I
Mhm.
thought my career was over. I thought my life was over. Um,
Mhm.
I couldn't go and do simple things. I had my daughter on track to become a champion golfer. We used to go out in the golf course just about every Saturday. Couldn't do that anymore. We used to play tennis. Couldn't do that anymore. So it affected me both personally and professionally. At work, every 18 months I would be in Las Vegas, and then of course hotels in Las Vegas are um, they're big monsters,
Yeah.
4,000 rooms, 5,000 rooms. And
Mhm.
in order to get from my room at a Las Vegas hotel to a conference floor, it's probably about a mile and a half walk.
Mhm.
So,
Wow.
what I had to do was fly into Las Vegas, get a wheelchair, get an Uber, get to the hotel, and then immediately, as soon as I walk in the door, I had to go. I had to rent a $250 scooter to
Oh
get
my
around.
God. Wow.
Hmm.
And then kind of, and then when we started working together, you enrolled in Rethink Dieting, and one of the things I always tell people, I said, I'm never telling you what to eat or what exercise to do. And you surprised me on our first training, and you
Hmm.
said, Alan, I don't know what to eat. I've never been on a diet, and we walked through that process. I didn't tell you what to eat, but because in fact, I'll tell, if you don't mind me telling, I'll tell what I told you, that I said, if your wife and 2 daughters' life were at risk, what would you do to lose 1 pound over the next week? You remember that?
Yep. Maybe eat less.
Yeah, there you go. You said eat less. I said, there's a plan. Let's start there. Now, obviously it goes deeper than that. And as we do it, but it's really always what I've found with other clients, so that, the other Rethink Dieters, just like with my journey and Angie's journey that we went on, where we lost 192 pounds together. She lost 63, I lost 129, and same thing. It was always between the ears, and you showed up. This is what's interesting. You showed up. You said, "What next, Coach?" And it was, and while we're not going to get into what all Sean did and the things he did, it was nothing crazy. I never told you to start walking. I never told you to what to eat, but you're down now over 80 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Since
October, and you're headed, and obviously, and you're on the journey. I mean, you're headed, and we'll talk about that towards the end. But what's interesting, I'd love you to speak to it, is because there's somebody listening that needs to hear this. I mean, there's somebody that needs to hear some hope. But you just made a decision, and you started moving again.
Mm-hmm.
And so walk people through that, and and then I have got a few questions as we go, but tell people what that was like, because I didn't tell you to go walk. I said, what would you do? And I don't want you to do anything. It's safe, and because you don't have to, but
right.
Tell people who are listening, what that process was like for you, just briefly, if you won't mind.
Well, I can just tell you that when we had our conversations, you put me in this mental state of mind. It begins here in your brain. It's a attitude. It's a commitment. Knowing that the road ahead is not easy. But you taught me one thing, Alan. I probably never shared this with you, but you taught me that sometimes, when you get this right, and you get your mental part right, and you become totally committed to your goals and your dreams, that the rock bottom has a rubber floor.
There you go. Well, I like your words better. You say it better than I do. That's
you can bounce back if you believe it. If you believe it here first, and then the body will follow. And then you command your body to do the things that are necessary without having to figure out exactly. Some days I still don't know what to eat, but having the determination and the mental capacity to, visualize a goal and think positive makes your rock bottom have a rubber floor. You can bounce back.
Yeah. Well, and then also the fact that you said something that's really true. I mean, there is no magic pill. I mean, that is the magic pill. The magic pill is between your ears, and like I did. Now I struggled with obesity for many, many, many years, and I was always looking for that magic pill. Gosh, what's going to get me at 50 pounds off on Tuesday? And it's on Monday, and it just doesn't exist. And so it's not a fix, but while you've been going, and I talked to you about this process, you would have things happen to you that were unexplainable, probably because you started taking action in this foundational area of your life. I mean, you mind sharing a couple of things, and you didn't know I was asking this question, but I know there's stuff that you've had happen, that just came out of nowhere, because that's what I look for. That's the gold nuggets, man. That's the diamonds.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that I really believe that we have a spiritual connection, because I prayed, I asked God. When you hit your rock bottom, you become desperate. And so my desperation led me to prayer, and I just prayed, and then you appeared. So
you're like, oh God, he's sending him, not him.
Well, he uses broken people to fix broken people, right? So
yeah.
So one of the things I'll share is what we started October 16th, 2020. I weighed in my first weigh-in at 432 pounds. And then about maybe 2 weeks in, I probably walked a mile.
That's crazy. I mean, that's just amazing. That's
and with no, and here's the miracle. I'll just tell you the miracle in all of this is that before I met you, I tried to get shots in my back, to relieve the pain. And the day that I was going to have the actual shot, my blood pressure was too high, so they couldn't administer the shot. I
wow.
tried, like I told you, I tried I guess there was super strong drugs. I don't even know the name. I don't want to know the name of them, but to relieve the pain. And I hallucinated off of one pill, and those went in the toilet. And I just I was at a desperate point in my life, and then through prayer I prayed, and then you appeared, and then we started the program. You got my mind focused where it needed to be, and then next thing you know, 2 weeks in, I'm walking again.
That's unreal. I mean, and what's crazy is I didn't know that you were mobile.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't. I had no clue because I knew that there was if there was a chance you could do whatever you wanted to. I mean, golly, Spud Webb can dunk at 5'6". You certainly can walk a mile. So, but what about professionally? I mean, have you had anything professionally happen that maybe was unexpected or anything along the way?
All kinds of stuff. I had features on our international page, so I have new friends from all over the world because of that.
Wow. And you hadn't been featured. Now you've been with the corporation you're with it's an international corporation. You've been with them for over 20 years, right?
22 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't the fact that you were down to a lower weight. You still are on your weight loss journey. You had been thinner prior to 2017 when you hurt your back, but had you ever been featured in the past prior to that?
I don't think ever in 22 years. Then all of a sudden, I guess I can't. These things are hard to explain now.
I can't explain them either. I just watch for them. It's fun.
I have to try to talk about it in a way that I'm not the type of person. I don't want to. I'm not a brag type person or whatever you call it. But yeah. So maybe I can't see what other people see, but maybe they saw something different about me. And it happens when I go into these. So over COVID, I lost weight during COVID.
Who does that? Who loses weight during? Everybody's talking about the 50 pounds they picked up. You're dropping 80. What are you doing?
Yeah, and I'm going to come back to that. But being on camera, people would, they would look. They kind of, you can't tell whether they're staring at you, but then they would send me little notes in a private chat like we have here. And they were like, "Wow, you look good." And it was just really weird stuff going on, and I'm sitting there not knowing how to take it and not knowing what to say. And then eventually it turned into opportunity.
Wow.
And then
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then the other part of that is when I actually, if we flash forward, another thing that happened is when people saw me in person for the first time. We did our first in-person. That's why I'm struggling the last couple of weeks, but it's okay. I'm going to bounce back. But last couple of weeks, I've been with people and eating with them and trying to eat outside of my normal schedule. Not saying that, without getting into detail about that, it's just weird getting back in front of people after COVID. But the weird thing that happened was they noticed how much weight I lost. And then every single one of them gained weight during COVID.
Yeah.
It was just the weirdest thing. So they would, we would make jokes about it. But then those, the joking in a group would turn into private conversations when we're away from the group. So I had to consult 15 people, maybe.
Wow.
Asking me privately, because nobody wants to talk about their problems or their weight or their addictions and things like that. They don't want to talk about that in the public environment,
Well, and it's like I talk about all the time. I mean, the gift that you were given a 433-pound gift. It's not one we want. It's one we need to get rid of, and all, but you're given that gift. And if you have 100 very successful men and women like you are, because you're a successful guy, you got a beautiful family, you got a successful career, but you've got this weight, well, they can see your weight.
Right.
Okay. You can't see theirs, and their weight will be one that they hide. And the fact that you're doing what you're doing and getting it off gives them some hope. So, I mean, that's an incredible nugget of gold right there. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so so I've gone through a lot of different things facing my fears. I'm paid to talk about other people and their problems.
Mm-hmm.
I never talk about me and my problems ever. That's just
Mm-hmm.
off the table. So now, through your coaching, I have somebody that I could talk to about me. And so that's something that, for years I probably would have backed away, like, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine. But you know what? It's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay that way. And that's something that that I write in my room all the time. I was the guy that wasn't okay. After 2017 happened, I wasn't okay. And then I finally was able to open up and actually talk about me and my problems with you. And then because I talked about those problems, I was able to recognize I had a problem and face them. So,
well, yeah, no. And what's cool about it is we look forward, hey, what's behind you is not important. It's going forward. And that's just something to learn from. And you're doing amazing. And the real thing is you're doing the work. You're not showing up, and it's not, is it simple? Yeah, it's fairly simple. Is it easy? No. But you're doing it. Fast forward to, this past weekend, walking 4 miles, back to what you were. Now you've got still on your journey. And I, for some reason, I told Sean this earlier before we got online. I never, interview people kind of before when they're early in their journey, but some told me to interview you back in December. You were down. I actually look, Angie, my wife, and Angie, who works with me on this, it wasn't everything. We've been married 35 years. You were down 30 pounds. Mm-hmm. You were at that point, and I asked you a question, and now, clearly you. A lot of weight loss. So you mind share with people, where you're headed to in your weight? Where you're going?
Yeah, I'm going back to 185. 185. That was when I was probably my most active, happiest, and then moving wasn't a thought process. It was just something that it was like breathing. I just did it. Yeah. So when you get to the point where you're 432 pounds, every movement is a well thought out process, because you got to make sure that you can balance so you don't fall and go from point A to point B. So now I just move without thought. So getting to the 4 mile marker was a blessing, because I'll be honest with you, before this process, I didn't think I was going to walk normal again. I thought I was actually shopping for one of the scooters that I used to rent at Las Vegas, so I could actually live a normal, or what I thought would be normal life, by getting outdoors, because I love outdoors. I like being active. I like going to amusement parks. One of the guys asked me today, what was I doing in Belgium? I was in Belgium specifically for one reason. That was to ride roller coasters.
There you go.
They're like, who goes to Belgium to ride roller coasters? I do. I like that kind of stuff, but
you go ahead. No, what was to say? You're down since December. You're down another, what's that, 60, a little over 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And before I kind of go to where I was there, I just had this thought, your doctors who, really concerned about you. And ironically, and we didn't, this was totally unknown to, but we couldn't plan it. But my in-laws actually go to the same doctor's practice here on Amelia Island that Sean goes to. So it's crazy. But they were in there talking about you the other day, by the way. So, but not doing anything non-HIPAA compliant, though. They were all right and all that. But tell everybody what it's been like to go into the doctor and have them see you make this transformative process from, where they were trying everything to help you, I'm sure, because they're great doctors. Mm-hmm. but you've done, and see, by the way, you did this. The guy sitting between your elbows is the one that did this, which is amazing. And so tell everybody what that was like and has been like.
Well, when you leading up to the 432 pounds, of course, because I injured myself, I kept having to make trips back to the doctor. It was 3 years of trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. Why is my back going bad? Why am I in so much pain all the time? And so when you go back to the doctor so often, every time you go back, the scale goes up. So it puts you in a mental state like, you know what? I'm not going anymore. And there were some appointments that I actually skipped because I just didn't want. The main thing wasn't the blood pressure increase or being close to pre-diabetic and all of this other stuff. For me, not wanting to go was I was afraid of the scale, to be honest with you. So, so how are you going to get better if you don't take measurements, right? So that we always talk about. And so going back to the doctor, I can't wait for my next appointment.
You become a superhero in there. They're fitting. Somebody said they were fitting you for a cape. Is that true? So, because all the superheroes wear capes. So that's amazing. That's amazing. But so you're heading to 185. And I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked in December. I already know your answer, but I'm still asking because somebody needs to hear this. So a guy that couldn't walk, the guy that was, more than 10 feet, was using a wheelchair most of the time, that's now doing 4 miles in a single, not stopping and starting. You did 4 miles altogether, right? I don't know. I wasn't there. It was like you started step 1 and didn't stop till you were 4 miles. This was the other day, right?
Yeah. So total that day, I probably walked 8 miles.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was just my workout. That was
your warm up. That was your warm up.
Yeah, I woke up in the morning. I don't know what was going on in my brain. I was like, I'm just going to walk until I can't walk anymore.
You had a Forrest Gump day, huh? Was that what it was? You just run.
So I took. I think I posted the map. I walked from my house all the way around the entire golf course and back home. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And just and looking at the map, I remember I used to watch YouTube videos of people walking just so I could visualize and remember what it was like to be able to walk without having to sit down, because that was really bothering me, that the fact that I couldn't move the way that I used to. So you just have to imagine a person that wants to visit every single continent and see everything. I'm the guy that, I go on vacation to exotic places. I like, I went to Alaska,
right.
And so I'm on a journey to see things, while I'm on this earth. So I have a lot of places I want to see, and that dream got interrupted by my injury. And
and now you're headed to 185. What would you tell a man or woman who's watching this that says, Sean, there's just no way. There's just no way. I realize you've lost 80 pounds. I realize you lost that. I realize you couldn't walk. Now you're doing 4 miles, 8 miles. But come on, are you really going to 185? Well, I don't believe it. There you go.
I tell them, watch me.
There you go. And that's what you said before, and that is what it takes. So, man, go ahead.
The funny thing that when you told me that when you put your dream out in front, because I don't. That's just not. I'm a private person. I don't put stuff on Facebook. I'm the guy that posts like an inspirational message on Facebook and then I disappear. I'm not the guy that talks about me or anything personal or I don't share data. I don't share anything. So when I put that out there, you warned me. You told me that people are going to try to get inside my head and say, oh, that goal's too aggressive, or there's no way you're going to do it. And absolutely those people came out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
But because we talked about it, I was prepared for it.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they catch crabs here on Amelia Island. If you get two of them, you don't need or more. You don't need a bucket. I mean, you don't need a lid for your bucket because that crab will pull the other crab back down in that bucket. So yeah, and that's a pretty common theme. I mean, because people around you don't want you to be hurt, and they're very comfortable with you at your size that you were. So, man, I'm so proud of you. It's so fun to see you soar, and you're inspiring people. I mean, you're becoming this icon, and that people are watching. But what's cool is you were already an icon. They just didn't know it. You're just unveiling who you are anyway. So, but anybody that's watching this, that give you guys, Sean watched, the way Sean found me was not because we happened to live close together, within 30 minutes of each other. Sean found me and watched a video. You can find that exact same video that Sean watched. It's at rethinkdieting.com. In fact, I'll put it in the chat. It's rethinkdieting.com. And then Sean and I had a real honest conversation. You go to transformmyfuture.com/apply. And if you're struggling, if you're stuck, if you feel like there's no hope, then book a call with me and we'll have an honest conversation and see if Rethink Dieting's right for you. But be encouraged. What one man or woman can do, another man or woman can do. And Sean, so great to have you. This is a blast. We're going to do another one of these. We're going to keep doing them. I guess 50, 60, 70 pounds. We got a little ways to go, but man, we love watching you win, man.
Yeah, and I'm just so thankful for you and Angie, and I thank God for both of you.
Well, thank you. We thank God for you too, Sean. Awesome. Take care, everybody, and God bless.
Take care.